Okay. So we are on motion, item number 4.2, motion to approve the intertransfer not to exceed $235,000 from the general fund to the special ed fund to close receivables for the summer handicap projects of 2017, 2018, and 2018, 2019. Are you guys having trouble hearing me? Yeah. Some are saying yes, some are saying no. Okay, we're on 4.2.
Yours, but you can unmute yours.
Unmute me? Okay. All right.
All right, so I'll
You have to mute your mic.
I just mute mine.
motion for approval.
Second.
Second?
Yeah, you can't unmute, I don't think, James.
Yeah.
That's not gonna work. Okay, I'll just
Okay,
yell.
Why don't you unmute and we'll switch seats? Or you mute and we'll switch seats, because mine's on.
Okay. So, it's still at 4.2.
Motion from
Dave
second.
motioned, second from Michelle. Discussion.
So we're moving money in there, and we're moving it from one fund to from the general fund to the special ed fund. Do we get that money back?
It's a special aid fund?
The local share.
Yeah.
You said special
Because we
ed.
moved it from the general fund to the special ed fund.
Special aid fund.
It's the special aid, AID, not special,
Special aid fund. Oh, yeah, okay.
okay? And
So
that's,
do we get, all right.
What is that?
Because it's for summer handicap project, so that's why I was thinking special aid. But anyway, that being said, so should we get that money then later? Or are we just at the shortfall somewhere that we don't have that money?
what John's here, and he'll correct me if I say anything wrong, the special aid fund is the fund that's designated where we spend money for summer handicap services out of that fund. It's just where we have to spend it. The state goes and gives us a balance from what they say their share is of it, and they're always running behind multiple years, and so they've done a catch-up. This is the local share after the aid that we have to put in there to spend now that the state has balanced their books, and they say this is our part of the money that we owe going forward.
So we already got our money.
We already have our aid on the other part of it, yes. And this is multiple years. It's not a single year. It's how many years? 2, 3?
2 years.
2 years. This is 2 years.
And so when that money comes in, it comes into the special aid fund.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's not funded at 100%.
No,
Correct.
it's about 70% now. Yep. John says
It used to
70.
be 80-20, now it's about 70-30.
Yeah. A few years ago, it was at about 80%, and now we're down to about 70% aided
That's
on.
why we need this difference.
So are we allowed to keep money in that special aid fund in anticipation? Like, can we pre-fund that fund, or is it always after the fact?
You can't pre-fund it now, it's just on, it's the current year things, and we leave.
Did he say no, we don't pre-fund
We
it?
don't pre-fund.
It's the current year.
I can hear him.
Okay, good.
But we do fund that in our budget every year.
Yes, the 20 used to be, like in budget presentations I did this year, we did bump up that AIDS, that general fund category, because we did used to see it was 80-20, and now it's about a 70-30 difference. So we increased that transfer to special aid fund, so hopefully we won't have to do a big transfer like this in the future.
So, all right, so I'm just wondering, like, when we do NISBA resolutions, when we start thinking about those for NISBA to work on, maybe we take a look at, increasing the funding for special aid funds.
Would it be special aid they'd be increasing, or funding for summer school
Summer
service?
special education.
Summer special education is what you'd be looking to increase the funding for.
Right. So perhaps we take a look at that as a NISBA resolution that we can talk about and have, Dr. Joel O'Malley work with us on the language on
Sounds good.
Okay. All in favor? Aye.
it.
Opposed? Jamie?
We have to do the roll call.
Well,
We have to do the roll call.
because, well,
Louise isn't a picture.
yes, she's not a, yeah, all right. Roll call, aye. Sharon?
Aye.
Gunnar?
Aye.
Chuck? We can't hear you, Chuck.
You're muted.
John,
Aye.
Dave?
aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
And Louise? Is Louise not there?
Muted?
Louise is having difficulty with her camera. It's saying that she's been disabled through the owner, so we're working on it. She did say aye to me, but I'm not certain that that's going to be
That
helpful.
one counted, just need to abstain.
Okay.
Then there's an,
So counted as a
I
mistake.
can't even hear her. She's not present.
yeah.
Okay.
Jane, I don't know if you voted.
Yes, I said
Okay.
aye.
Sorry, I remember that one.
So,
Jane,
yes,
sorry to interrupt you, but when the electric guys came, they said they'd be cutting our power in a half hour, so.
okay. Motion, well, if Louise isn't present, can we go back to not a roll call?
Yes, you can
Okay.
put that
We
roll.
go back to
So-
not a roll call because Louise is not present.
Item
Okay.
4.3, motion to approve the intertransfer not to exceed $95,000 from the general fund to the capital fund to complete the funding of a $17 million capital project.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Aye.
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 Opposed? Abstained? Motion carries. 4.4, motion to authorize available unassigned or unappropriated fund balances as of June 30th, 2020 to be transferred to one or more of the following reserves as permissible by law. The retirement contribution reserve, the teacher retirement system, insurance reserve, reserve for employee benefit.
So moved.
Chuck, second? Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Thank you.
Unless I moved.
Discussion.
So when will we know what monies get transferred into which account?
August, September.
You
When
want
the year, when the financials are fully closed for this year, which is probably August or September, that's when we'll know how much we allocate to some of these accounts. We're just identifying the places we can put money if we have fund balance at the end of this year.
why this?
Right, I was just wondering when we will know, as the board, what monies went into which account.
Then we will.
You will have to have a resolution to do it. So about 5 years ago, the state
Yeah.
said that everyone had to have a resolution because the fiscal year is ending. So this board has to give permission to next year's board to move the funds because no school districts in New York State know their ending balances until late summer, early fall. And so then in August, September, I think last year was actually October when the external audit is done. That's when the final numbers come in and the board passes a resolution to move any monies that we would to any of these reserves. And these reserves were picked because they're all ones that we can pull money out of to help with mitigate costs next year if there's any when there's any fiscal impact from lower sales tax or from a state budget withdrawal or state budget reductions.
Okay, so let's say, for example, we have $100,000, okay, when will we know, as a board, where that $100,000 went?
During when you pass the resolution in either August or September.
Got it.
Doug, I see we haven't included our capital improvement fund here. We're not anticipating transferring any funds
We're thinking right now, because we're going to carry more money in the unappropriated, that if we have enough money and the state doesn't pull back aid, then we would use that money. We could transfer money in there any time next year to reduce that unappropriated. And if right now we had talked about having the vote in early fall, so therefore we would still have time at the end of next fiscal year, if we never use it throughout the year, to put more funds in it before any construction took place. So we're on the same trajectory, but we've built in safeguards for anything that happens with state aid. Because once it's in the capital fund, you cannot pull it out without voter approval, but these funds you could.
And isn't that what 4.3 was?
4.3 was, no, that is for the
No,
project.
that's for the current project.
For the current project that we're just
Oh, you're
finishing up.
asking for future projects?
Yeah, this is for future.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, now I'm in the meeting on my phone and I can see everybody. It just doesn't allow me to, oh no, now it kicks me out of the meeting video wise and I can just hear everybody.
All right,
Okay.
we'll go back to roll call.
Go back to roll call.
Sorry. Oh, now it's letting me see everybody too. Okay.
I still can't see you.
Yeah, so we still do
So
roll
I
call.
still do roll call.
Louise, if there's something on the bottom of your screen that says stop video.
You know what? Believe it or not, this computer at work is a virtual system and it doesn't even have a camera on the screen.
Oh, okay, all right.
Sorry, I didn't know that that's okay from my phone.
Okay,
Oh my goodness.
to catch you up, Louise, we're on item 4.4, and we've just had our discussion, so we're ready to vote.
Yep.
So,
Did you have any questions on 4.4, Louise?
Yeah, no, I don't. Actually, I've been listening the whole time. It's just that I couldn't talk and you guys couldn't see me.
okay, all right. So roll call starts with me. I, Sharon,
Aye.
Gunnar,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Chuck,
Aye.
Michelle,
Aye.
Louise.
Aye.
Motion carries. 4.5, motion to approve the award of the science supplies bid for the 2020-2021 school year on the basis of value to the following listed on the agenda.
So moved, Gunner. Second by
Chuck.
Discussion. Okay,
Thank you to Tim Ferguson for putting that all together.
so roll call. Me, I, Gunnar,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Chuck,
Aye.
Sharon. Can't hear you, Sharon. Michelle,
Aye.
Louise.
Aye.
Motion carries. 4.6, motion to accept the following donations for Danny's Helping Hands. A donation for $30, a donation for $25 from the Holmes and the Brzezinskis.
Yes.
Okay.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion. Thank you very much. It's always nice to see when people are donating to
Especially during a time period like this.
Yeah. Okay, roll call. Myself, I, Gunnar,
Aye.
Chuck,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Sharon,
Aye.
Michelle,
Aye.
Louise.
Aye.
Motion carries. 7, a motion to accept a donation of $1,000 from the Community Foundation for Greater Buffalo for scholarships for 2 high school students.
So moved.
Second. Dave.
Discussion. Again, it's always nice to have donations coming in. That's fabulous, and if this goes to 2 students, is nice.
And congratulations to the students for winning the scholarship.
Gunnar,
Aye.
me, I, Dave,
Aye.
Chuck,
Aye.
Louise,
Aye.
Sharon,
Aye. Aye.
Michelle.
Aye.
Motion carries. 4.8, motion to accept the donation of $500 from Mr. and Mrs. Thomas McCarthy for the Chuck Funky Athletic account.
So moved.
Discussion.
Another
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, another thank you. This is wonderful to see. Okay, Gunner,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Chuck,
Aye.
Louise,
Aye.
Michelle,
Aye.
Sharon,
Aye.
me, aye. Motion carries. 4.9, motion to accept the 2020-2021 propositions on board election results held on June 16, 2020.
So moved. Dave.
Discussion.
Jane.
Congratulations, Shane.
I'd like to say thank you to everyone who supported me, and I hope that I have 5 years.
Also to the public too, really thank you for mailing in all the ballots, taking the time to do that. We had our largest vote ever, and really, I'd love to see everyone vote, really to hear what everyone in the community has to say. But to everyone that took the time, thank you very much. I know it was different, the way the state government said we were to hold the election, and people asked their questions. Hopefully you were all satisfied. If you still have any questions, let me know. But thank you to the community.
Absolutely.
And also thank you to the team in Iroquois for handling the vote and counting the votes. That was a huge task and very efficiently done. I mean, it was the earliest result I heard, so thank you to everybody, Cindy, and thank you to everybody who worked on that.
Yep.
Thank you.
Cindy did a fabulous job, and all the inspectors that came in, for the hours they spent counting, great job. So hopefully Cindy will take vacation now for a day or two to catch up on her sleep.
Okay.
I wanted to say thank you to Doug because he did such a great job in explaining everything clearly to the public because people did question it, but there was no question after you did that. It's great.
Thank you.
Okay. So, Gunner,
Aye.
Dave,
Aye.
Chuck,
Aye.
Sharon,
Aye.
Michelle,
Aye.
Louise,
Aye.
myself, aye. Motion carries. So that would bring us to normally a board discussion, and Chuck did bring something up while we
Yep.
were not live streaming that he would like for us to talk about. So let's.
So different things here. One, Chuck didn't mention, but I want to point out for the News We're Sharing organizational meeting July 6th, that will be a regular, according to the state regulations now, a regular attended meeting. So the public could come to our board meeting, so you're more than welcome to come. We will also still be live streaming, so they could still watch it this way. And if a board member wishes to attend remotely, they can do that. We'll just have to let Cindy know so she can do the appropriate posting and everything with it, because I still know there are concerns out there with COVID-19, and so hopefully we can take that into account for everyone. And we will hopefully, I'll look at the technology, be down in the new larger room, so if people do show up, we'll be able to social distance and spread out, obviously depending on the number of people that do show up. Athletics, where are we with athletics? Well, I guess we look at it 2 phases. In September, the guidance coming out from the State Athletic Association says we do have to be in attendance. I'm thinking with phase 4, if we're staying in phase 4, we will be in attendance in September. The attendance piece, according to state officials, does not pertain to in the summer, but we would still need to be in phase 4, which means we could have attendance. And so I will be getting out information to the coaches this week about they're going to have protocols in place for when students show up, if they're planning on having practices over the summer, and they'll be working with John on those because it's all has to do with building use forms, so it'll be part of that. Plans will be in there, how they're doing social distancing, if they're close together, of the protocols for masks, where we have temperature checks when they come in, and things like that. Sharing of equipment will not be allowed. Sharing of water bottles won't be allowed. And obviously, if they're wearing masks with the heat and everything out there, they're going to have to modify their practices in some way to take that into account, because I would think, I'll say a 2-hour practice wearing a mask would not be acceptable, but if you were to do a drill for 5 minutes and then space out where people could take a mask off and breathe. But I'm going to look to the coaches for each individual sport of how they wish to conduct that, and then we'll review that, and look to the Department of Health, CDC guidelines, and the state to make sure we're meeting everything that we need. Opening in September. Right now, just to the public, I hear there's different going on out there about what school is going to look like in September here at Iroquois. The decision has not been made. The state education department and the state will not be giving out guidance until the middle of July. So what we're doing here at Iroquois right now is we are having discussions amongst administration, and then we're reaching out to other individuals to have collaboration on this. And we're trying to break it into areas. So I'll say transportation would be an area, arriving at it, school would be an area, classroom activities would be an area, and then we're going to break those down into different types of education. So one obviously would be remote, another one would be in full session, but then we'll also have a full session where we're doing safety protocols. We'll be looking at different models that people have suggested to how would we implement those, but really we need some of that guidance and knowing the phase we're in and what's expected of that phase. Because my question really is to the state, and I've asked this to state officials, is if we're in phase 4, and I'm thinking phase 4, from everything I understand, you still need to be social distancing and wearing masks, there just could be more people around. Does that end, or is that the way New York State is going to be required from now forever, or will there be a time where they'll say, no, that can end, and that might be when there's a vaccine, it might be before that, I don't know, and that's where I'm looking for the state to say these are their expectations, so we can either meet or exceed those expectations.
Well, and then if there is a vaccine, are they going to require students to have it in order to be able to attend school? You're going to have
There'll be a whole nother question from the state that will go, and then if they don't require it, but if people get it, will there be different guidelines for someone that's had a vaccine compared to someone that's not had a vaccine? So there's still a lot of questions out there. So what I'm really for Iroquois is we do have some time. I know people have questions, but please be patient, because we don't want to have an answer and then switch it and then have another answer and switch it. We really want to know what the guidelines are so that we can either meet or exceed those moving forward.
But again, if people have questions or concerns, ask them.
Definitely. And definitely call me, because there's different regional task force, and by having those questions, it might be a question we haven't thought of, or if I'm hearing the same question a lot, I would put that higher. Maybe that would change where we're addressing that question. So please call in, and if you hear someone saying this is what's going to happen, please really ask them where they're getting their information, and then call in and let me know, or have them call in, because we're still working on those decisions. I think that's everything.
Does anyone else have something that they'd like to share?
Yeah, I have a few items that I wanted to share with everyone this morning, so please. The first one is that I joined the middle school administration for celebrating the class of 2024 virtually, our 8th grade students that are moving up to the high school. So I just want to congratulate all of them for making it through middle school, and it was a lot of fun joining them virtually for their celebration. And I hope all of them enjoyed that virtual celebration as well. The second thing I wanted to share was that I received an email from the middle school librarian, Maria Malbauer, that I just wanted to share with the board this morning. She sent a really detailed email, first thanking the board of education and the administration for their continued support, especially with increasing access to digital resources throughout this time, especially during COVID and with students virtually learning from home. Our online databases this year handled over 10,000 searches, which is the most that our school district has ever seen. And she said that even though students were not physically in the building, largely were still able to retrieve what they needed from the library, both scholarly research and continued independent reading. She changed her curriculum up a little bit and used Microsoft Teams to host book chats with students, virtual book clubs, trivia competitions, and she even had 2 virtual author visits from notable middle school fiction authors, which is just fantastic. And then she sent an end-of-year report. She saw 2,830 student visits, 4,173 checkouts from the library, and then the big one this year was 4,796 ebooks and audiobooks were checked out from the middle school library during the COVID crisis, and that's the most ebooks that have been checked out from our resources in school history. And just I want to commend her and all of our staff at the middle school for continuing to use those resources, and thank you to the rest of you on the board for continuing to support her. So that was nice.
Senator, I'm sorry. Can I just add to that real quick? Because Kim Friedman sent an update from the high school library also. And just to reiterate what you just said, really appreciated the board support, the community support, and the student support. And our technology was at the forefront. So thanks to Mary Jo, too, for being so forward thinking. And, you know, our librarians really stepped up along with the rest of our staff, of course. But it was nice to see how valuable that technology has been to our students.
Yeah, definitely. The fourth thing that I just wanted to remind everyone, so it was on the agenda, and I was hoping, Doug, you can remind our building principals to, if they have any final end of the year communications with their students or the families, to remind everyone that the school meal program we're continuing here at Iroquois throughout the summer, and that's an amazing resource that we have available breakfast and lunch for our students across the community throughout the summer. So just continuing to remind people, because that's not something that has been there in the past, so I don't think people are expecting it. So our building principals could again remind families if they have any final year, end of year communications.
I'll definitely tell them, and then also, you know, a week or two into the summer, I will put out another reminder in case people forget, and that way they'll know about it again as a reminder during July.
Awesome, thank you. And that's all I had to share this morning.
Anyone else?
The only thing I wanted to share is I really commend all the administrators and the teachers and all the support people for helping out students. It's been a real challenge, especially for people like me and my husband who are working and at home with the kids, and really helping push and caring attitudes to really help these kids get through the school year. They are outstanding. I can't say enough about how happy I am and how commendable it is.
We do have a great Iroquois family here. It really is nice.
Anyone else? All right, with that, I'd like to call for a motion to move into executive session for the purpose of discussing the personnel issue.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor? Let's see, we gotta do this. Gunner?
Aye.
Myself, aye. Dave?
Aye.
Chuck? You're muted, Chuck.
Aye.
Sharon?
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
Louise?
Aye.
Motion carries. We're going to move into executive session. When we come back, there won't be any other business done, so we'll only come back for the purposes of adjournment. we're back live. So can I have a motion for adjournment, please?
Dave?
Second.
Louise.
Okay, discussion, I just want to make the public aware that Chuck did lose his power at 9:06, and he is no longer present in our
So he
meeting.
can ask if we're really going to have a discussion.
Okay. So again, a roll call vote. Gunnar?
Aye.
Dave?
Aye.
Sharon?
Aye.
Michelle?
Aye.
Louise?
Aye.
And myself, aye. That's everybody, so motion carries. And we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And sir, I stay cool today. Here's going to be a nice hot one.